Welcome into Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. I'm Meghan Payton. Unfortunately, today we are talking COVID-19, especially how it has affected the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you guys haven't been reading Twitter or anything lately, you may have not realized, but COVID-19 has been a major problem for the NFL. It was a problem last week. It remains a problem this week. Luckily for the Steelers, though, no one huge has tested positive. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but right now, these are the COVID-19 cases in Pittsburgh. Devin Bush added to the list, probably the most notable guy on this list today. He was added, Zach Banner as well, Marcus Allen, and yesterday was Montravius Adams. So unfortunately, this remains an issue around the league. We are going to talk about how it has affected the Kansas City Chiefs, who the Steelers will be playing on Sunday. But right now, Steelers are okay, I'd say. Devin Bush being their most notable, and Devin Bush, I know, is a guy that you guys have definitely said you wanted to step up. Devin Bush has struggled and been a little bit inconsistent this year, I'd say, as a whole, but still, you don't want to lose a starter. I'm not saying Devin Bush has been a phenomenal player, but the backup options aren't much better. In 2021, he's had 66 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback hits, and 4 pass breakups. I will say against the Titans, he seemed to be a little bit better. I feel like he did a better job in coverage, played a little tougher. Going to be a loss if Devin Bush is not playing this week, but hopefully it stays with just these guys. As far as the Kansas City Chiefs, they're in a little bit tougher position with a lot of their starting guys testing positive. Travis Kelce on the COVID-19 list. Harrison Butker, their kicker, who is actually unvaccinated. We found that out today. So he is officially ruled out for this Week 16 game. These other guys now, if they are vaccinated, they could get 2 negative tests after a 24-hour time frame apart. Therefore, they could be back, but Harrison Butker will not be kicking on Sunday. Their cornerback, Charvarius Ward, he is on the list, as well as star wide receiver Tyreek Hill, Rashad Fenton, and Blake Bell. These are all guys that are going to drastically change this Chiefs team. So the Steelers are hoping that their list stays where it's at right now, but the Chiefs are dealing with a much bigger problem. And as we see guys keep on testing positive, this leads us to the question of, do you think this NFL game is going to get postponed? This Steelers versus Chiefs game is scheduled for Sunday at 4:25 Eastern. Now, we've seen this happen last week. The NFL was saying, before the start of the season that they were going to do their best to not have to postpone, change any games. Well, this outbreak around the league has caused them to kind of second guess and make some, decisions that they didn't want to have to do. Last week, they actually changed 3 games. They moved the Seahawks-Rams game, the Washington Eagles, and the Raiders-Browns game. So, it's a theme that unfortunately we wish we were not talking about here at Steelers Talk. So I will just vent it out to you guys and ask you the question of, are you tired of talking COVID-19 cases? I know I am definitely ready to move on from it, but unfortunately it is still affecting our society and affecting the NFL. So go to the comments right now. This is our pinned comment. Let's vent it out today on Steelers Talk. Go type me if you are tired of COVID-19. All right, let's move on to some Steelers non-COVID news. We actually have something positive to report for you guys. Kevin Dotson, who has been dealing with dealing with an ankle injury. He is officially returned to practice on Wednesday. He is designated to return from the reserved injured list. This is really good. Dotson has missed 5 games with this ankle injury. He went out during that Detroit Lions game. Now, just because he's designated to return and just because he practiced today, it does not mean he's going to play on Sunday. In fact, I don't think that he will be ready by Sunday. That's just my early prediction. Hopefully something changes, but I would expect him to be ready by week 17. The Steelers have 21 days, that window of, kind of putting him back on that active roster. So if it doesn't happen this week, I expect it to happen next week. Now, they need their offensive guard back because this offensive line continues to struggle. And we've talked about it a lot here on this show, but Kendrick Green has improved. We're going to talk about him later on here on this show, but Dan Moore Jr. struggling a little bit still, the rookie that, still has to fit right. Chukuma Okorafor, I'd say, stepping up a bit, but these guys really have to be on if they are going to help the Steelers make the playoffs. But I will say Kendrick Green, better snaps against the Titans, and Big Ben actually praised him during his press conference, saying that he did a good job. They asked, what's the difference between this week, last week and weeks prior? Kendrick Green said he took off his glove that he uses to snap the ball. So maybe that was the problem all along. Hopefully Kendrick Green does not have his glove on this week against the Chiefs. We still have some more offensive line news for you guys. ESPN's Adam Rittenberg, he tweeted out earlier saying sources say Oregon is targeting Steelers offensive line coach Adrian Klemm for the same role under new coach Dan Lanning. The Steelers still have at least 3 games left, so no deal is set yet. Klemm has been with the Steelers since 2019. He last coached in college with UCLA in 2016. So I know that you guys have complained about the offensive line. It's been a problem for the Steelers, clearly. Now, we haven't talked really at all about their offensive line coach. Do you guys think that this would be an okay move? Would you be upset if you were losing Adrian Klemm? Let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling about this, but I don't think it's the end of the world if he, wants to move on to the college. I don't honestly know if his job is completely secured in Pittsburgh, so I'd say go for it. It's all good. The Steelers are going to have to rebuild this line anyway next year. But by the way, guys, I will kind of pause on all of the injury news, offensive line drama, COVID drama to tell you guys about a great deal going on over at Fanatics. This is the sale you do not want to miss out on. They've got great beanies, the Aaron Andrews sweatshirt that I love. They've got a scarf glove combo. All of this stuff is at a really good price. You can get up to 50% off. You go to chatsports.com/Steelers sale. They still have this Darius Rucker vest on sale. The socks, fluffy socks, my favorite. I've got my Steelers gear on today. Make sure you go check this out before the sale stops. All right, back to Steelers real news. We are talking Big Ben, and Big Ben, actually, we are talking about him sitting on the steps during the Titans game. It was kind of an, I don't want to say odd moment, but a curious moment where he walks out off the field, goes to the locker room, he's got his sweats on, he's sitting on the steps. Everyone's wondering what's happening. Tony Romo saying Big Ben just had to pee. Then everyone else starts speculating, saying, he was taking a moment to himself to ponder, maybe the last few games of his career. He had just done a QB sneak. Like, who knows what's going on in his head? He was, of course, asked about this during a press conference, and he pretty much denied everything that we've all been saying. He said, that was misconstructed. It was not even close to what people think. And I don't need to get into what it was, but it was not a moment of thinking about anything. Someone got a shot of something that was nothing, but everyone thought it was. All right, so he says it's nothing, but also he says he's not going to get into what it was. Now my brain can't stop thinking about it. I was okay knowing that he was just taking a moment for himself, thinking, reminiscing about all the years he spent there on Heinz Field, but that wasn't it. So what was it, guys? I need answers. This is driving me crazy. Go to the comments right now. Let me know, what was Big Ben doing on the steps? But we are going to have to start thinking playoffs, and Big Ben is definitely thinking playoffs. Maybe that's exactly what he was thinking about on the steps, because the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're right there, guys, and they can essentially control their own destiny here. They are not in it right now, but if you look at this list, they are in the others category, standing alone because of that tie at 7-6-1. If they win these next 3 games, they have a very, very high chance, pretty much I'd say guaranteed, at making the playoffs. But these games are not easy, obviously, taking on the Chiefs this Sunday. That's going to be a difficult game. It might even get moved. We'll keep you guys updated on that, of course. Then they go back home to take on the Browns. Important divisional game. The Steelers can still win the division, absolutely. Then they are going to be playing the Ravens in Week 18. And by the way, there's no way at this point that the Ravens will be benching their starters. I thought maybe that could happen. This division is up for grabs. This is going to be very competitive. The Steelers are very much still in it, but it starts Sunday against the Chiefs. We are going to keep you updated, obviously, on all of the COVID-19 drama. You hate to see it happen. You hate, it to be a factor into some of these big games. Right now, the Chiefs are major favorites in this game. They are favored at -10. The over-under is set at 46.5. But I really feel like this could be an upset game. The Steelers know what's at stake. Big Ben knows what's at stake. He is definitely thinking about the future, knowing that it's probably his last year. I think that this game could absolutely determine and will probably determine the Steelers postseason. So, of course, what we do here at Steelers Talk is we make you guys predict the score. We haven't done this in a sec, so we are going to have you guys predict the score in the comments. Now, if you guess correctly, we will feature you on our show. And guys, I can see when you commented, so don't go comment after the game and tell me the score. Get your comments in now on what you think it's going to end up being. Oh, by the way, you do have to be subscribed to be featured on our show. So subscribe, predict the score, and if you get it right, we will feature you on Steelers Talk.